What if the reason your financial stress isn't going away isn't because you don't earn enough? What if it's because every time you earn more, your life quietly becomes more expensive in ways you don't fully notice? Imagine you're 23. You've just landed your first full-time job in a mid-sized US or European city. You make around $3,000 a month after tax. At first, life is simple. You rent a small apartment or share with roommates, $900. Groceries, transport, basic bills, another $600. Student loan payment, $300. You're left with maybe $1,200. Not rich, but manageable. You even save a little. There's no real pressure to look successful yet. You're just starting out. Fast forward 5 years. Now you're 28. You've worked hard, switched jobs, maybe negotiated better pay. Now you make $5,500 a month after tax. On paper, your life should feel easier. But it doesn't, because your lifestyle has changed, quietly. You now rent a nicer place, $1,800. You bought a car, $500 monthly payment. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, another $300. Subscriptions, dining out, short trips, $600. Student loans still there, $300. Credit card payments, $400. Now, pause for a second. You're earning almost double, but your total monthly expenses around $3,900 to $4,200. You're left with maybe $1,300, almost the same as before. This is where most people get confused. They assume money problems are solved by earning more, but in reality, income growth often triggers expense growth, not because people are irresponsible, but because the system around them rewards it. Better salary leads to better offers, nicer apartments, easier loans, higher credit limits. You don't feel like you're overspending. You feel like you're upgrading your life responsibly. Let's look at something simple. A $30,000 car financed over 5 years at moderate interest. Your monthly payment might be around $550. Over 5 years, you don't just pay $30,000. You pay closer to $33,000 to $35,000. Now, add insurance and running costs. That car is quietly costing you $8,000 to $10,000 per year. And that's just one decision. Now, layer in a slightly more expensive apartment, a few subscriptions you don't question, occasional well-deserved spending. Individually, none of these feel extreme. Together, they define your financial ceiling. So why does this happen? Because income doesn't just change your bank balance, it changes your identity. You start to feel like someone who should live a certain way. In your early 20s, saving $500 feels like progress. By your late 20s or early 30s, not upgrading your lifestyle starts to feel like you're falling behind, especially when everyone around you is doing the same thing. Colleagues get better cars, friends move into better neighborhoods, social media normalizes it. And without realizing it, you start measuring success through visible upgrades, not financial stability. Now, imagine you reach your early 30s. You're earning $7,000 to $8,000 a month after tax. This is where most people expect to feel comfortable. But often, this is where pressure peaks, because now come bigger commitments. Maybe a mortgage instead of rent, $2,500 monthly, a newer car, $700 payment, higher living standards, $1,000 plus on lifestyle, ongoing debt payments, still there. Your fixed costs are now heavy. You're not just spending money, you're committed to spending it every month. And that's the difference. If this pattern continues, something subtle happens. Your income grows linearly, but your obligations grow in layers. Every upgrade adds another permanent cost. And over time, flexibility disappears. You can't easily take a break from work. You can't downshift without stress. You can't ignore a job you don't like. Not because you're broke, but because your life is expensive to maintain. Financially aware people don't necessarily earn less. They just interpret income differently. They don't see a raise as permission to spend more. They see it as an opportunity to reduce pressure. When their income increases, they keep parts of their life unchanged on purpose. Not because they can't afford more, but because they understand what stability actually feels like. It's not about visible upgrades. It's about having fewer financial obligations controlling your decisions. Imagine two people earning the same $6,000 a month. One spends $5,500, the other spends $4,000. Both look similar from the outside, but internally they live completely different lives. One is constantly managing payments. The other is quietly building options. And over time, that difference compounds, not just financially, but psychologically. Earning more isn't the problem, but it doesn't automatically solve anything either. Because without awareness, a higher income simply supports a more expensive version of the same pattern. The real shift isn't in how much you earn, it's in how much of your life your income is allowed to control.